his Her Grace Sharanya Radha Devi Mataji. He also serves as counselor in, yeah. So Tulsi Prabhu was giving here. His wife was. No? So someone was told. Sorry. वो first principal है वो director है school का और someone. Is currently based in Pune. Yeah. He also serves as a counselor in Magarpatta congregation, supporting Grahastha devotees in their devotional journey. Professionally, he works with NICE, a Israeli-based software product company, where he serves as a senior director of engineering, managing global R&D engineering team. He is graduated in chemical engineering from NIT Surathkal, and I guess.
Oh, yeah, you gave a very humble introduction. Actually, I'll tell, and relevant to this podcast also, we thought we'll do it as a podcast kind of method. First of all, he's a very successful professional, very, very accomplished professional, and he's part of his. Recently, I think you went and you're part of that alumni, right? You participated. He's part of the angel investor community also of his college, NIT Surathkal. So he also kind of, actively kind of invests, the next level of investment, no SIPs, but investing in the businesses. So he is very much up to date on what is happening in the current field of AI. Okay, and I think you also recently kind of spoke right on the trends on AI, right? In Bangalore, I think there was this thing, right? So he's a very kind of a well-known industry speaker as well. Okay, and while he has done this, he and his wife in Magarpatta, he is like US of Pune, okay, or US of India. It's like he was once telling me I preach like we preach in US. So it they have built a very very solid congregation. He and his wife. It's a very elite area of Pune, and both of them have very successfully resonated with the CXOs. There are founders. That is the kind of community which stays in Magarpatta. So basically, he is an accomplished professional at that level, and he is able to resonate with that section of community very well. And thought that he is the best person to talk on the career and how things are going to evolve and change and some of those things which many devotees have questions and they need guidance. Because Roji, please, so career is very complex kind of thing and we are going to discuss that, and this is the only missing link which we had to cover in this NS camp. So we are very happy that we have with us His Grace Satya Gopal Prabhu. We'll welcome him by loudly chanting three times. ये हालांकि आखिरी सेशन है, but I can assure you this will be the one of the most value adding sessions in your life. Okay, so with your full enthu, you have done a very good job as audience for last 3 days. So let's continue with the throttle and get something out of this. Amazing. Thank you. Hare Krishna. His Grace Satya Gopal Prabhu ki.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Yeah. So Hare Krishna. So now we'll start the podcast with the Satya Gopal Prabhu, and we'll do it some kind of discussion based on what is happening right now in the market. He'll respond. He'll share his views, and then we'll open it up for the question and answers. Okay, you can ask your questions, how you want to develop your career, etc. Okay. So that's what it is. So welcome Satya Gopal Prabhuji for this. Very 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 important discussion on career, and especially in the times when things are becoming very disruptive in career, right? So uh, first we would like to know your view on the skill development part of it, because many of the devotees, and before we kind of start off, can we have a show of hands how many of you are in IT or
Haribol.
or the IT companies, may not be in IT roles, development roles, but right? So it's a consider. How many of you are not in IT but in the core domain kind of roles? Okay, okay. And how many of you are in like government kind of setups? Okay. So this is the rough view. Of course, AI is going to be like COVID. Nothing, nobody is going to be escaped from that. So we will take that as a center stage, but we'll keep it relevant for all the domains. Okay. So Broji, now with this, the pervasiveness of how the whole market is getting disrupted, particularly after the advent of AI, everything is kind of changing a lot. The way people were studying education, it's not just another technology stream, but it's a way of doing business, way of different businesses will be run, even the education will evolve, everything is going to change. Okay, so now with that, how it is happening, so now we are even debating what kind of education we should give to our kids, because after 4 to 5 years things are going to be very very different. So with that, especially for this audience, what do you think should be the focus on skill development, at the entry level? Many of them, or probably they are in the 0 to 5 years, 0 to 8 years kind of domain. What should be their skill set, how they should plan their skill development in this age of AI, please?
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. Change is constant, right? Why change? Sometime I was sitting there. Probably I should still be sitting there and hearing from someone else. But with all Prabhuji's pressure, I am sitting here and trying to help you out. So please forgive me. If something I'm repeating which you already know. I'm sure many of you know a lot because you're all many of you are from IT, and almost maybe 12 hours of your association is with laptop. So Prabhuji spoke about. So I'll try my best to serve Prabhuji. I'll do my best to try to help you in this 1 hour, because I also appreciate, so many of you are still able to sit there and attend this, because it's been a tiring 9:30 to 4. How much? 5:30 now. So I really really appreciate. This is the kind of skills you need. First thing, the patience. And I think to start with anything, actually, the skills. Let's talk about what is happening now in the market. Okay, let's talk about what is going on with the job market. What's going on with industry. So one of the things which has changed in industry is the rate of change. When I joined from NIT Suratkal in 2002, the rate of change was maybe every 4 years, right? Every 4 years, something would change. Some skills would come, some new technology is innovated, but the same thing has changed now. What has changed now? The change is happening in every 3 weeks, right? Literally every 3 weeks. If you are really in touch with the change which is happening outside India, every 3 weeks there is a new change. There is a claw bots are coming, there are agentic AI swarms are coming, and there is so much changing. So that's the biggest change which has happened in this time, that what used to change in every 4 or 5 years is changing in every few weeks. So now, if you see my parents, for that matter, when they started their career, or your parents, Prabhuji, when they started their career, kya tha? You go to a good college, take a degree, और उस डिग्री के बेसिस पे यू अर्न फॉर नेक्स्ट 30 years, है ना? ऐसा था. Everyone was earning. You took a degree, you are assured. You went to an IIT or very good engineering college, COEP or VIT, you are assured a good salary for next 30 years. That has completely changed. What has now happened is the new skills which has come into picture. पहले हम क्या करते थे, पढ़ के छोड़ देते थे और वही बार बार यूज करते थे. Now that's not the case. What you have to do today as a skill, the biggest skill you need is learn, unlearn, and then relearn. And it's very difficult, right? Because skills may, if you don't, that is the biggest mindset change. Biggest mindset change. और हम devotees के लिए क्या होता है, including myself, we want to learn something and keep using it, because that extra time we can give to for the service of Krishna, right? For us also, it's a big change. How many of you agree with me? right? So that is the biggest change which is happening in the skill market. Right now, let's come to Prabhuji asked about what is going on in the job market, right? So one thing I'll tell you is सबसे बड़ा problem ये हो रहा है, there are a lot of clickbaits. Basically there are a lot of fake news also which keeps coming. People come and talk about something very absurd. 99% of jobs are going to go away. I really don't think that's going to happen. Okay, 99% are not, jobs are not going to go away. However, 99% of jobs will transform. What you are doing today will not be something you'll do in 2 years. The only thing which is industry is expecting from a professional today is that they align with this change. जो ये चेंज आ रहा है, अभी जैसे एग्जांपल मैं आपको देता हूँ, every person here sitting here is a manager. If you are working in an IT company, you are a manager. How? You may be just starting your career, right? But every person will be a manager in next 3 years. How? Because they will not just manage people, but they'll also manage agents.
Okay.
The whole industry is moving towards automating and use of AI, right? Nothing new for all of you. But the way it is being done is very different. The only person who will remain in a job today would be someone who has learned the skills. And the moment you think I'm done, you are done from your job. So the key thing from a skill perspective is you need to have 3 types of skills, Prabhuji.
Okay.
One skill is most important skill is AI skills. Many of you are not even from IT, and this applies to you as well.
Yeah.
How?
Actually, I feel the non-IT jobs will be affected more than even IT jobs, because wherever there is process and everything, and you're expecting the least over there, that's where it is gonna turn out.
Yes. Actually, it's other way around also. IT jobs also will get affected.
Yeah.
We in our company, we hired the first AI agent employee.
Oh wow.
What it means is this person is an agent. There is a name of this agent, and he has been hired as an employee of the company, and he'll get all the access of the systems, and he will be under a manager. So the change is happening everywhere in the AI world. The change, like example I'll give you is, सबसे पहले हम बात करते हैं कि how many of you code? Programming कितने लोग करते हैं? 90% of you are coding, right? How many of you use AI today? And how many of you are expected to improve the productivity by 70% or 80%? Right? See, अगला जो अप्रेजल होगा वो कितने आपने पीआर यूज किए, कितने टोकन यूज किए, उस पे होगा, right? So that is where the skill kept. So what should one do in terms of skills, which was a core question. Let's come back to I think it was important for me to set the context.
This background is very important, because we need to understand, before we even delve deeper into it, Proji, I resonate with you. I was sitting with my procurement head of my client, and they day in day out they are receiving bids from startups. So he sat with me, we were on lunch, and he picked out a piece of paper and pen, and exactly same thing what you are telling he told, because they're negotiating. See, ultimately it comes down to the dollar value of what you are delivering. So he was telling me he drew a graph, okay, and he told that there was a launching pad on the y-axis. There is a launching pad which used to be our degrees, BTech, MBA, and all. And that launching pad used to just take you 30 years later, and the x-axis was time.
Yes.
And then you end up in your retirement target, and you are like done. And
Perfect.
he told that because of AI, that starting point on y-axis is almost at zero. Everybody will know eventually, and then there is a very small jump you will do. By the time you do, it will come down. You'll have to look for another wave, and then another wave, and then another wave. So maybe like 15, 16 of the waves till the time you get retired.
Perfect.
So absolutely fine. That I can fully resonate with what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. So I think in terms of skills, what you should look for, I think that is a very key question today, because some of you might be using. How many of you feel you're using AI completely? There's no need of any other improvements in that, right? In fact, I can also not raise this hand here, right, in this question. No one of us knows enough and we can claim that we know enough, right? That's biggest thing. So I think सबसे पहली चीज, the first and foremost thing one has to learn is AI skills. Be it a job, non-IT job, or a government job, or a IT job. Basic AI skills everyone should have. Which means what? Prompts. It is not just asking AI to just rewrite your email. That's the starting point. When I started using AI, it was to rewrite emails, right? That time has gone. Now you should know how to best use AI using the best prompt in a way. So that is one, the first and foremost skill is AI skills. Any work you do, bringing that AI first mindset is what every company is looking for.
Absolutely.
आप डिजाइन से शुरू कर रहे हो, आप कोडिंग कर रहे हो, या आप प्रपोजल बना रहे हो, सपोज यू आर इन अ गवर्नमेंट जॉब, प्रपोजल बना रहे हो, हर जगह पे एआई का यूज है, राइट? अगेन, दैट इज द कोर स्किल्स. One of the foremost thing in that core skill is a very structured style of learning. क्योंकि एआई सब बोलते हैं, हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू वांट टू लर्न एआई? एवरीवन विल रेज देयर हैंड्स, राइट? देयर इज नो, आई डोंट इवन टू हैव टू आस्क यू, राइट? सबको एआई सीखना है, पर कितने लोग सीख पा रहे हैं? How many of you are able to actually execute and learn AI? Right? So that is the core skills. We'll talk about it maybe in the subsequent questions. I'll try to answer that question also, why we are not able to do it. But that's a core skill. Second core skill, which is not going anywhere, is domain skills.
Wow. Yes, very important. Absolutely.
The domain which Prabhuji has done his PhD, right?
Yeah.
That PhD learning, no one can take it away from him. Today also, AI bot hallucinates. कितनी बार वो गलत इंफॉर्मेशन देता है हमको, right? So we still need human in loop. That's the key word which is going around in the industry. Human in loop. ये human in loop कौन है? The person who has domain knowledge.
Perfect.
So that's the core skills we should work on, right? पहली थी AI skills, basic AI skills, prompt engineering, context engineering, how LLMs work, and there is enough material on YouTube to learn. किसी को कुछ पे करने की जरूरत नहीं है. You can easily learn this from YouTube. Second skill is your domain skills. By Krishna's mercy, you would have been put into some industry. I think getting deeper into that industry is important.
Absolutely.
Automobile, healthcare, financial domain, fintech, anywhere. That is the third. Third thing, which is very, very critical in today's day and age, would be leadership. The key thing here is, it is not just about getting things done. It is also about how to get things done. When a leader is there, jokingly we are saying, पहले दिन जब someone will land in the office, he'll have 3 people working for him. These are not people, these are agents.
Agents. And you need to decide.
And you need to decide what you want to do, get this done through the agent. So the delegation skills, your time management skills, your prioritization skills, again your domain skills, all this comes into picture. Giving example, my own company, we started with vibe coding, right? हम लोग भी वाइब कोडिंग करते थे. वाइब कोडिंग, यू ऑल नो, दोज हु डोंट नो वाइब कोडिंग, व्हाट वी डू, वी ओपन हम हमारा जहाँ पे कोडिंग करते हैं वो ओपन करते हैं, चैट रहता है, हम वो चैट को कंटिन्यूसली क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, वो चैट क्वेश्चन बताता है और उसमें से कोड आता था, हम वो कॉपी कर देते थे. So that was the area where most of us were using AI. Now that whole thing has changed. We have moved from vibe coding to speak best coding. Literally, this is what I have done personally for my own self. I spoke on my iPhone. My phone I spoke. I converted that into text. I gave it to the AI. AI को मैंने बोला, I created 4 orchestrators, agents, बहुत सारे, मतलब there are people I created, like virtual people I created. And I could generate an application in 3 hours, literally 3 hours, which would have taken, from my experience, would have taken me 2 to 3 months with at least 3 or 4 people.
That's a kind of productivity gains everybody is kind of looking at.
Yes. So times are changing. I think that's the key thing here. So three skills: AI, domain, and your leadership skill. Because leadership skills, still you need empathy. Those humans you are working with, still you need to deal with them. There is skills of all leadership skills apply here, and this is what is the best advantage we as devotees have, Roji.
So, Proji, this I think we'll delve a little deeper into these three skills. One
Yes.
is this AI skills. I think what would be really important is because again there is an ocean, okay,
Yes.
and we can boil the ocean and get nowhere. So if you can suggest at whatever some maturity learning framework, okay, where somebody is at whatever level, then what kind of courses or what sources, Udemy or YouTube or what, and then at somebody is first of all assessing where they are in terms of level, and then at that level what skill basically to focus on, and then if they're at a matured level, then what skill they want to focus on.
सबसे पहले, how many of you started AI training and left it? Okay. Thank you being so kind and raising your hands. I think the key thing, सबसे बड़ा problem है, it's not about learning skills. It's about we starting and stopping.
Okay.
The consistency, Prabhuji, let's talk about consistency first.
Okay.
Then we will talk about the skills. Okay. So सबसे पहला problem, and we devotees, we have 20 things on our hands, right? At any given point of time, I'm sure you are sitting here, but there'll be 20 things which will be going. Oh, I have to do this seva, or I have to finish my 64 rounds. Today is Ekadashi. So as a devotee, we are no stretch all around. No, and all of us are in the same boat. Don't worry. So सबसे पहली चीज होती है consistency. Learning anything is easy if you are consistent and you are in a process. So if you have to start anything, keep this in mind. What gets measured gets delivered. सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम प्रभु जी ये होता है कि वी डोंट मेजर आर सिस्टम, राइट? हम शुरू करते हैं, चलो आज हमने यूट्यूब निकाला, लर्न एआई. नो, आई स्टार्टेड विद लर्न एआई, और इट हैपेंस विद मी आल्सो. सो आई एम इन द सेम बोट विद यू. लर्न एआई करना शुरू किया, मैंने 5 वीडियो देख डाले, और 5 वीडियो बाद इफ समवन आस्क्ड मी, probably I only could keep 10% of the information which was shared in the video. होता है, right? Then I get bored. Then I again come back after 7 days, and I start to watch the same set of videos or the very similar video. Again मेरी गाड़ी अटक जाती है. No, ये वही समय है जब हमने श्रीमद् भागवतम पढ़ना शुरू किया था, and we always stopped at Canto 1. And we would again start from Canto 1, right? When we came to Bhakti, that was the case, right?
Especially Canto 2 is like amazing, So definitely after Canto 1 we feel that is done, Good Prabhupada took first Canto.
Yes. So, or I started with Srimad Bhagavatam and I suddenly moved to Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this is how sometimes even we do when we are doing our career learning. We start with something, we spend tons of time, but unfortunately we spend tons of time in just the introduction.
Absolutely.
Right? So first and foremost important thing for you is to start any learning is to document what you're going to learn. Very important, because you don't have to boil the same ocean again and again. Introduction LLMs के बारे में पढ़ते, it is not going to give you any more knowledge. The only change of knowledge happens is delta 3 or 5% delta. So important is you first create your plan. Introduction of AI. Okay, for introduction of AI, since Prabhuji was asking what sources you can use, there are tons of sources in YouTube, but one of my favorite to learn about the basics of AI is there is a channel called 3 Blue 1 Brown.
Okay, amazing. 3 blue, 1 brown.
Yes, there is a channel called 3 Blue 1 Brown. It talks about the basic LLM and it helps you visualize everything very nicely. बहुत अच्छे से सिखाता है वो, है ना? I'm sure some of you, in fact, if you'll go and search there, it also tells you how pi r square is calculated. No, many of us have used our throughout our life pi r square,
Yeah.
but never knew how this formula of circle area comes pi r square. ये कैसे derive होता है? Go and check it there. 3 blue, 1 brown will have it.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
So starting point is what is AI? What is LLM? और मैं ये सबके लिए बोल रहा हूँ. Even if you are not, if you are in a government job also, आपने ये सीखना चाहिए. Because this will differentiate you with you from others. जो आपके कलीग्स हैं उनसे आप डिफरेंशिएट कर पाओगे बाय डूइंग दिस. पहली चीज है. फिर सेकेंड थिंग वी शुड लर्न अबाउट इज LLMs, राइट? व्हाट इज मशीन लर्निंग, व्हाट इज AI, एंड देन वी शुड लर्न अबाउट LLMs. कि LLMs क्या है. LLMs के लिए अगेन सी कैसा है, यूट्यूब इज अ ओशन नाउ. तो मैं इफ आई हैव टू लर्न समथिंग व्हाट आई विल डू इज आई विल आस्क चैट जीपीटी, can you create a training plan for me? I am a beginner or I am a whatever stage you are in. I would first ask my chat GPT to create a plan for me. ठीक है, ये plan मिल गया मुझे. Then I'll copy this plan to my Google Sheet. Okay. Then I will not directly jump and start watching videos. I would actually select one or two videos maybe of each topic. और मैं सुनूंगा उसको 5 मिनट. And you are not doing any disservice to stop that video and go to another video if you don't like it. Right? So पहले आप अपना टाइम बहुत important है. So first thing is create the topic list of topic you want to learn in AI, which includes LLM, prompt engineering, context engineering, RAG. मतलब बहुत सारे IT के लोग हैं, इसलिए I'm talking about all this very technical terms, but ये सब सीखना बहुत जरूरी है. But there is a process to it. Once you have done this, learn, I think start applying. क्योंकि वीडियो का क्या होता है ना, वीडियो हम घंटे भर देख सकते हैं.
So I'll take a quick pause here. How
Yes.
many of you have your learning plan? Learning plan. What he is saying. How many of you have that learning plan ready?
Okay.
So good. So which means this is going to be important for them to start at that step. So that's one. Yeah.
First
Go
thing.
ahead.
Second thing. So एक learning plan हमारा बन गया, जिसमें हमने बनाया, और ये learning plan भी हमने AI से ही निकलवाया कि क्या क्या सीखना चाहिए हमें. Second most important is become accountable to someone. It can be your counselor, it can be your senior, it can be anyone who you can become accountable to. और ऐसा जब हम बात कर रहे हैं ना, there are times we talk to each other.
Yeah. And kind of we keep talking that what has to be done and all, and then
Yes.
there have been instances when I have come back to you, Project, I've done this, like that.
So this is very important. Become accountable to someone, right? तो पहले हमने learning plan बनाया. Second is accountable, right? Third thing is applying. बहुत सी बार क्या होता है ना, हम लेक्चर को भी बहुत बार सुनते हैं, राइट? वी वांट टू जंप फ्रॉम वन लेक्चर टू अनदर लेक्चर टू अनदर लेक्चर टू अनदर लेक्चर. बट आई नो मेनी ऑफ द डिवोटीज, वेरी सीनियर गृहस्था डिवोटीज और ब्रह्मचारी डिवोटीज, who hear the same lecture 4 times or 5 times. Because we all know, even if we hear 5 lectures and apply it in our life, our life will be fully successful. So same thing is for with AI learning also. आपको बहुत जरूरी है कि जो आप सीख रहे हो वो पैरेलली अप्लाई करोगे, क्योंकि क्या होता है, सब इवेपोरेट हो जाता है. तो हैव अ प्रोजेक्ट. इट कैन बी अ सिंपल भगवद गीता प्रोजेक्ट ऑल्सो. Actually I'm looking for an app, if someone can build just an app which doesn't allow people to look at their mobile phones from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. and it just gives you the codes. So I'm just giving you an example. There can be so many, even spiritual Krishna conscious project we can do. Right. So I spoke about plan. I spoke about sources में YouTube में tons of sources है. Andrew NG is there, right? He talks about it. Coursera में बहुत सारे courses हैं. So Coursera में there is this I think there is a plan where you can take for a year and everything is free. Right. But I can tell you YouTube has tons. But I'm not telling you specific channels right now is because सबका taste और सबका style अलग है. You figure out what is your taste and what is your style. But there are many, like I'll give you example, Dev Ebler है. Dev Ebler talks very nicely. Those who are in core engineering skills, they can follow DevWebler. Then इसके अलावा आई थिंक आप जब शुरू करोगे आपकी जर्नी यू विल गेट द राइट सोर्सेस.
Yeah. Pruji, this applying part, I think I want to slightly, if you can throw more light when you are applying and building projects, sandboxes, the environment, what, because everything, the current job may not allow them to do it. So, what is the practical way? Because some of the things, if you can give some basic guideline on that, that will be really good.
Okay. How many of you have personal laptops? Yes. So today's day and age, almost 90% of the things is also available free of cost. There are some restrictions, but it is available free of cost. So whatever I said today, you can easily do on your own machine. Example I'll give you is VS Code. Sorry for the devotees who are from non-IT background, but एक VS Code करके एक IDE होता है. Many of you would be also using it. It allows you to do things for a month free, and there is always a means and ways to add that to another few months. Right? There are a lot of tons of free sources. सो आपके एक पर्सनल लैपटॉप पे भी आप ये सारे प्रोजेक्ट बना सकते हो. मेरा एक सजेशन है, स्टार्ट विथ अ प्रोजेक्ट विच वेयर यू कैन डू एंड टू एंड बाय फॉलोइंग समवन. बस एक बार करना है, वो एक बार वो कर लिया, ऑटोमेटिकली यू कैन डू इट ऑल द टाइम्स.
Great. Okay. So we can take some specific questions once it kind of opens up, Roji. And I think I'll just again then go back on this. The domain part, if you can touch a bit more, because I think that part is still not so much appreciated in our career journeys. Okay, we move from company to company, but I think that getting deeper into domains, that sometimes is like becomes a miss part. So how can you a bit more emphasize on the domain part, or in certain domains what they are, the visibility may not be that much. So again, so if you can give some guidance on that.
Sure. So I think domain is going to be the king. फ्यूचर में जो स्किल्स रहेंगे, द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट स्किल्स फॉर योर करियर वुड बी डोमेन. इट कैन बी एनी डोमेन. आई कम फ्रॉम सो आई वर्कड इन बोथ हेल्थ केयर एंड फिनटेक. ठीक है. इफ यू आस्क मी what should I have done today, if I reflect back, probably I should have stayed only in one domain. I should not have jumped, although because there were opportunities from one domain to another domain. So I worked in a company, cancer treatment company, for 8 years. We built the first cancer oncology analytics solution in India for the company, and that product is now used by 5,000 customers all across the world.
Amazing.
Now if I reflect back, if I would have gone more deeper into it, it's my personal reflection, if I would have gone more deeper into it, probably I could have done more better in that area in oncology. In any case, I've also done I've also spent good amount of time in fintech, which where I currently work with, right? So fintech mein and I can only talk about from a personal experience, right? Sabka domain alag alag hoga. Few things which I have seen people stand out in their career, they have following qualities. One is they're very inquisitive. डोमेन में जब आप कोड करने जाते हो या आप डेवलप करने जाते हो, आस्क द व्हाई पार्ट ऑफ इट. व्हाई एम आई डूइंग समथिंग. एग्जाम्पल, हमारा जो मैं प्रोडक्ट बताता हूँ आपको, हम क्या करते हैं. व्हाट वी डू इज वी हैव अ सर्विलेंस प्रोडक्ट. इट्स अ इजरायली कंपनी, सो एवरीथिंग इज रिलेटेड टू सर्विलेंस. तो जो भी बैंक में कम्युनिकेशन होता है, ईमेल, वॉइस, सो वी डू सर्विलेंस ऑफ इट. वो हमारे पास में आता है और हम फाइंड आउट करते हैं कि कोई इनसाइडर ट्रेडिंग चल रहा है क्या. फिर हमारे पास मार्केट डेटा भी आता है, न्यूज़ आती हैं, और हम इन सबको एक साथ लाके फाइंड आउट करते हैं, इज देयर एनी रॉन्ग थिंग डन बाय द एम्प्लॉयज इन द बैंक.
परफेक्ट.
नाउ अब इसमें अगर मैं जाऊंगा स्पेसिफिक, तो ये डोमेन में हम लोग सीखते हैं कि कैसे इनसाइडर ट्रेडिंग हो सकती है. So there are people, there are certifications which you can do. So every domain has certain level of certification. Insurance, if you are from, how many, if anyone from insurance? Yes. So insurance में INS 21, 22, 23, अब तो शायद और change हो गया होगा. So there is insurance. Even in fintech, there are a lot of domain expertise. In Pune, many of the companies are mainly into banking. So banks के बहुत सारे certifications हैं. Likewise, every place there are small courses. For domain, my suggestion is don't go for a very big course at one shot. Go for small domain courses in Udemy, in Coursera, in all these universities. There are a lot of courses which are given for domain.
Sure. Now in domains also, Prabhuji, I think just slightly may look like stretching, but then it's important. One thing which I heard is that no, as you rightly told, why I'm doing something which I'm doing. Okay, so slightly stretching that dimension a bit more. See, what happens generally is that no, the things which I'm building, the business value of it, okay, that sometimes we don't even think about it, okay, which is kind of very important. So do you think in the skill set or in the domain part only there is an extension to understand the financial implications or financial value of the business use cases? Do you think so?
Absolutely, and you come from that field, you know. See, the world is changing. अभी पहले क्या होता था ना, वो employee who used to work 18 hours was respected, and also in appraisal that would reflect, right? At least in many of the companies now that is changing. Now the merit selection is not basis of hours you are putting, but the basis of outcomes you are bringing, right? तो बहुत जरूरी है, एज अ डिवोटी वी शुड स्टार्ट थिंकिंग इन दैट डायरेक्शन. इफ आई एम डूइंग सो एंड सो, सी इन कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस वी डू दिस ऑल द टाइम, राइट? हमें सब पहले दिन से प्रभुपाद के पहले वर्ष से प्रभुपाद बता देते हैं व्हाट इज द बेनिफिट यू आर गोइंग टू गेट देयर हियर. सो प्रभुपाद वाज वेरी वेरी विजनरी लीडर इफ यू आस्क मी. पहले दिन से पहले श्लोका सेकंड श्लोका में ही बता देते थे क्या आउटकम है. प्रयोजन सीधा प्रयोजन पे जाते थे. सेम थिंग वी हैव टू अप्लाई इन आवर प्रोफेशनल लाइफ ऑल्सो. We should know, if I am spending this much time, what is the outcome I am going to build for the project. बहुत सी बार क्या होता है ना, हम ऑर्डर टेकर हो जाते हैं, which we should avoid. If you have to grow in your career, I am repeating, if you have to grow in your career, please don't become order takers. Question everything which you are doing in your work, which Prabhuji was asking. So question कैसे हो सकते हैं? Question could be, okay, what is the business benefit of this particular project? अगर ये मैंने project release किया, how is that business going to use this project?
Absolutely.
तो outcome and how this is going to affect. So example I'll give you is, you should know when you are doing a project, software project, आपने ये पता करना चाहिए मेरे साथ 5 लोग हैं, इनका बिलिंग इतना है, वो कैलकुलेशन आपके पास में होनी चाहिए.
Absolutely. And this is something which gets highly ignored. I think personal finance also, and I think the way company P&L is working is something we think is the job of the leadership. And that's where maximum kind of, there is fog around it,
मैं आपको बोलूं, ये बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंशिएटर होता है. द पर्सन स्टार्ट्स टू टॉक अबाउट बिजनेस इंस्टेड ऑफ ना ये कंपोनेंट या ये पाइथन कोड या वो जावा क्लास. Instead of that, if he starts to think at a 10,000 feet, what is that business I'm trying to deliver?
Absolutely.
Your standing in the company automatically changes. And this is a key area. हम अटक जाते हैं कभी कभी उसी छोटे छोटे एरिया में. And this applies to even a non-IT person, right? कि मैं जो भी काम कर रहा हूँ उसका आउटकम क्या आएगा और उसका वैल्यू क्या है, वो हमारे दिमाग में हमें समझ में आना चाहिए.
Right, Purji. And I think this is connected to the leadership skill, right?
Yes.
I'll not be able to own leadership skills if I don't know the big picture, right? Otherwise, I'll just remain like an order taker, as you rightly told,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So that is one thing, and I think devotees can think of some specific areas as to how, because I think we have discussed that in context of husband-wife relationship also, that we just keep doing things, we don't pause and think, so
Yes.
so in our life also in general, we just keep, pushing across. So similarly in our professional life,
Actually, reflect करना बहुत जरूरी है. Whatever you do in life, reflection is very important. Otherwise क्या होता है ना, we keep running. We are running on that treadmill which is not going anywhere. We are sweating, we are working hard, हमारा breath नहीं आ रहा है, लेकिन we are not going anywhere. यही चीज भक्ति में भी होती है प्रभु.
yes, absolutely.
Right? जब तक रेट्रोस्पेक्ट नहीं आएगा, जब तक हम पॉज नहीं करेंगे, and that's where if you go to yatras, these are the right places to actually reflect. 3 घंटा निकालो अब अपने लिए, and you should reflect all your bhakti, your health, you should reflect on your social life, you should reflect on your job and career.
Absolutely.
Trust me, start noting down. Trust me, half of your problems will be solved. The moment you will start to note down where am I heading, what did I achieve, take a stock. Every 3 months, take a stock. Maybe come to temple, side में बैठो एक डायरी बनाओ.
Absolutely.
वेरी गुड पॉइंट प्रो जी. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है रिफ्लेक्ट करने का.
Right, Roji. And I think I'll now just take this ahead because again, this is part of the just auto mode which we all move in. But I'll open a new dimension and probably slightly transformational, which we have not been generally talking in devotee circle. And I think if somebody is building such skill set, domain and leadership, what stops or what can devotees do to start their own journey as an
Entrepreneurship.
entrepreneur?
Prabhu, this is the best time. There has been no best time than this. The reason I'll tell you. अभी तक क्या होता था जब सॉफ्टवेयर हम बनाते थे, ठीक है, सॉफ्टवेयर में क्रेडिबिलिटी होता था एंड एक साइज होता था. एवरी कंपनी से आई गो टू अ बैंक और इफ आई गो टू से ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री, ठीक है ना, वो सबसे पहले हमें पैर ही नहीं रखने देते थे. इफ आई वाज अ स्टार्टअप एंड इफ आई डिडंट हैव अ क्रेडिबिलिटी, दे वुड नॉट इवन लेट मी स्टैंड. दैट इज कंप्लीटली ब्रेकिंग. इन माई ओन प्रोडक्ट, हमारा एक प्रोडक्ट है पब्लिक सेफ्टी से रिलेटेड, नो, क्रिमिनल जस्टिस एंड पब्लिक सेफ्टी से रिलेटेड. उसमें क्या होता है, 911 कॉल आपने सुना होगा, नो, समवेयर दैट यूएस में इफ यू आर इन ट्रबल यू कॉल 911 एंड देन वहाँ से एजेंट्स आपको हेल्प करते हैं. So this was our product. This is a product which is almost used by all big police department. There was one startup company which came up 14 months back, made a very simple product, simple proof of concept pe. They ended up taking 400 of our customers. So this is the best time if you have to become an entrepreneur, if you are even thinking about it. Of course, every individual's priority and things are different. But what has happened is AI की वजह से companies have opened up their doors. There are many companies who are ready to experiment. क्योंकि ये जरूरी नहीं है कि एक Infosys can produce the same result as a small startup.
Absolutely.
In fact, small startups are doing better. Enterprise पीछे रह गए. You might have also experienced this because इतने red taps होते हैं, इतने problems होते हैं, and startups don't have this problem. So entrepreneur journey is a great thing if you start early in your age.
Yeah, because I think what is happening is anyways career is like, or and so to say we are like blindfolded in our jobs and we're just expecting, we'll be mercy on the company and no mercy of industry, etc. and all. So better than that, take control of your,
See, Prabhu, I work with a lot of startups. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and the level of freedom is very different. Of course, it takes time. It takes time, but you can start somewhere. If you still have some interest, this is a great time. If you want to remain in job, but that's also okay. But the entrepreneur journey this is the time where there is so much opportunity. That the whole world is opening up.
Right. So we thought, because generally what happens, and I think now I'll bring this whole discussion more to the context of devotees, because we have also seen, and I think last time in the Nityanand Sabha camp also, there was some devotees who were kind of asking, and somewhere there is a taboo of, taking up a journey of a growing entrepreneur. Somewhere we feel that no, probably let's keep it like a bare minimum kind of thing. But the challenge right now is it's not in your control. The career is gone into someone else's control. So
Yes.
so now it's like, a situation where you have to take charge. So from devotee context, it is a kind of that orientation of that comfort zone which we had been, or which we had aspired for. I'll work for so hours and I'll be in like a very comfortable zone. That is not there in reality, but it's still, that expectation is there in our mind so far. So how do, if at all, like, if you can share with the audience, how do we come out of that comfort zone?
Right. So, first of all, there is a taboo, right? Going and working hard, sometimes, you have double thoughts in your mind. But whenever I have these thoughts, I always look towards some of the devotees we have around us. There is His Grace Krishna Chandra Prabhu, right? So I was uh, recently, I was talking to his MD is part of our group. Anand VS Prabhu, he's a part of our group. He's in Bombay, and I was going to GEV, so I went and met him. So I was just talking to Prabhuji what it is to be under the leadership of a devotee. I was always interested about it. So Prabhuji said it is one of the most wonderful things which can happen to you in your life, because Prabhuji's humility, Prabhuji's dedication towards the mission is unparalleled. Then I asked him a very difficult question. I said, Prabhuji, what does Prabhuji do when he is into difficult situations? So Prabhuji said he is very assertive and he uses all the scriptural knowledge he has, and it is so wonderful that our decisions are so fast. Now, why I am sharing this with you is because if a devotee becomes a leader, it makes a lot of people's life easy. Why? Because he is guided by his principles, values. That value system is not there in all the leadership.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
when you become an entrepreneur, first and foremost thing you bring is that value system which is lacking in all around our corporate world. So that's why we want more and more devotees to think about it.
Well, I think this is a very valid point because, once I was talking to one very senior leader, CIO of a large automotive company, and he was telling that there is an ethical crisis going on right now
Yes.
in the startups. Byju's happened, or this happening, or that happening. A lot of companies, they are very quick in raising the funds, bloat it out, go public, and then bust, and then gone. So there's an ethical crisis going on right now, which I think as you rightly told, the leadership. I think one of the dimension of leadership is also the ethical, grounding, right?
Now, be simple words में where do I start? If how many of you want to think or try about entrepreneurs, becoming an entrepreneur?
Rebol.
Haribol, thank you. We need more. So see, it's easier said than done. I also give you facts. Only 6% of the startups are successful. Only 0.0001% of the startup becomes a unicorn. So there is a challenge, but that doesn't mean you should stop. सबसे पहला starting point is if you want to become an entrepreneur, start somewhere. एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपको कोई बिजनेस शुरू करना है, सपोज आई नो अ फ्रेंड ऑफ माइन हु इज स्टार्टिंग हिज क्लोथिंग बिजनेस. ही इज वर्किंग एज अ डायरेक्टर इन आईटी, बिग आईटी कंपनी, बट ही इज स्टार्टिंग. सो उसने कैसे शुरू किया? ही इज स्टार्टिंग एंड जस्ट गोइंग टू ऑल दिस what you call those places where all the companies come.
Wholesale market? Or
No, not cohort,
exhibitions.
but exhibitions. So सबसे पहले he started and going to the exhibitions. He first understood the ecosystem. He wants to do things in clothing. So वो clothing के लिए he learned who are the agents. Similarly, I have another friends. In 6 months, he's from NIT Surathkal. In 6 months, I think 6 or 8 months, they have 2 million or 3 million turnover in corporate gifting. Okay, so best place if you want to do something other than your IT job is to go to these exhibitions. समझो कौन क्या कर रहा है. प्रभु जी went to AI exhibition in
Yes,
in
Amit.
Delhi. Right? You want to talk about it, Prabhu?
No, I think that was one of the thing which I wanted to check was, of course, I was being sent by TCS, but I wanted to check where is startup system proliferating, where they are going, because that's the best of startups they are putting up. AI startups are putting up over there. So what can I learn from my venture perspective?
So these are the places because you will know and learn from others who are there in the exhibition. Second चीज है have a plan. I am very heavy on documenting. The reason is the moment you document whatever is in your mind, आपको कल से कोई डिसीजन भी लेना है, प्लीज डॉक्यूमेंट एंड डिसाइड. आप देखो आपको एक करना है या बी करना है. नो, इस माता जी से शादी करनी है नहीं करनी है, ये दो माता जी से इनसे शादी करनी है, कुछ ने तो ऑलरेडी शादी कर ली तो वो ऑप्शन गया.
हाँ.
लेकिन जिनके पास वो ऑप्शन है, देन एनी प्रॉब्लम इन योर लाइफ प्लीज स्टार्ट टू राइट. So same way when you want to start entrepreneur journey, it cannot happen in your dreams. You have to do something on the ground. Look, how many of you are having this dream from many years? Why are you not able to move? Yes, आज करेंगे कल करेंगे और फिर वो कभी नहीं होता. right? So the procrastination, this is a key thing in, even if you are going to do job, the biggest killer of our ideas is procrastination. और वो प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन कब जाएगा, जब आप धीरे 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 डॉक्यूमेंट करना शुरू करेंगे, राइट? सो द की थिंग इज, एज प्रभु जी सेड, पहला आप एग्जीबिशन में जाओ, जो आपने सीखा वो डॉक्यूमेंट करो। तीसरा, प्लान बनाओ, छोटा छोटा प्लान बनाओ। मे बी यू स्टार्ट विथ योर वेबसाइट, ओके, देर आर फ्री वेबसाइट, देर आर सो मेनी टूल्स, आप थोड़ा भी रिसर्च करोगे सब फ्री में मिलेगा। फोर्थ थिंग इज, bring partners with you if you are comfortable, okay? And fifth is, start very small. कहीं तो शुरू करो, और फेल ही तो होंगे, you know, this life, what will happen? At most we will fail, and we can always go back to our job तो हम कर ही रहे हैं। The problem is we don't start because the mindset of failure.
Absolutely.
So don't worry, and at this age, this is the best age of failing fast. If not, it will never happen.
No, that's very good, Prabhuji. And I think I think this is pretty much it. And I feel that no, you have touched almost on every aspect. I like to now open it for Q&A. Okay, because I think now a lot of devotees would want to ask questions. So we'll go one by one. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for wonderful points, especially about AI and all. So one thing,
Yeah.
it's my question is regarding AI issues. So yeah, in our company, like now, I'm very much using AI and all, but what I'm feeling is it is sometimes making me lazy or dumb. Like earlier, I used to write mail or something. Now I'm just giving some points to I. These are the point I want to mention, and even in broken English or something. So like my grammatical or something like English skill is going. Same thing is coding. Like instead of writing myself, now I am asking the Claude, the cursor to write the code. Ki this is the thing I want to do. These are the changes. You do it. Even if there is error, I am asking him to correct. I am not coding, so I am feeling like I am losing my own skills.
So this guilty is happening with everyone. Okay. So I think Prabhuji, when I see AI, I see AI as my personal assistant. Okay. Whatever is thinking, critical thinking is with me. Whatever I can delegate, which is not so much thinking, I give it to AI. So first and foremost thing, don't have that guilt. Number one. Number two, see, remember, even if you are giving those 5 points to AI, that 5 points has come from your intelligence, not from AI's intelligence. AI को करने को दोगे तो he will hallucinate. There is a word called hallucinate. Those who are not in AI, hallucination में क्या होता है? AI को बोला, you know, give me some details about this job, और वो मुझे कुछ ही और job, मैंने बोला IT इंजीनियर के बारे में बताओ, कभी कभी वो नेवी इंजीनियर्स के बारे में बताने लगता है। So hallucination. So first and foremost thing, please don't have a guilty consciousness in your mind that I'm not using AI is doing a lot of my work. In fact, if you won't believe, Infosys, Cognizant, I met some of their CEOs and CTOs recently when I went to Bangalore. Many of them of such size companies. You know, one I met global head of Ness. So one thing they are doing is they are not making their people learn जो हमारे समय होता था ना, maybe you would have also gone through 3-4 महीने का training देते थे, and then they will say now you go on a project. They're stopping that. They're saying their first thing they're starting is to use AI. So first and foremost thing is number one is, if you are in IT and you are using AI, use AI to your best possible ways. But don't leave AI on system design. आप सबको यहाँ पे जितने आईटी के लोग हैं, दे शुड ऑल नो हाउ द सिस्टम डिजाइन ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ सिस्टम्स वर्क। वो नॉलेज नहीं जाना चाहिए हमारे से। थर्ड इज, एआई को भी केयरफुली यूज करना जरूरी है। आई डोंट नो इफ यू हैव रेड द न्यूज रिसेंटली, एआई ने कुछ तो गड़बड़ किया अमेजोन में, और उनके द सर्वर गोइंग डाउन रेट इंक्रीज्ड सिग्निफिकेंटली. There were a lot of crashes happening. So they have put a freeze on 90 days code freeze on agents code checking in the code. So ये problem भी होगा. But to make your point, Prabhuji, the world is going there. Where you should now explore is, now AI is giving me this extra time. मैं इस extra time को कैसे use कर सकता हूँ? That is the key here. इट्स अ कंप्लीट माइंडसेट चेंज, नो कल्चरली हम एक तरीके से प्रोग्राम थे, अब एआई से वो कल्चरल प्रोग्रामिंग चेंज होना पड़ेगा, राइट? सो यू डोंट लीव योर थिंकिंग, सिस्टम डिजाइन, वो सब अभी भी हमारे हाथ में, दैट्स वेयर यू शुड।
Hare Krishna. You're talking about entrepreneurship.
Sorry, bro.
Entrepreneurship.
हाँ.
So, bro, how should be the transition from job to entrepreneurship? Because when we are job, we have a stable income, and when we go into entrepreneurship, we need some fixed amount of fund, and our regular everything should also go on. So, how should the transition go about?
See, there are two ways you can transition from job to entrepreneurship. जॉब में क्या होता है ना, जॉब में इट्स लाइक द कांस्टेंट सैलरी विच यू गेट्स डजंट मेक अस वर्क समटाइम्स, राइट? वो हमें एंथुसियाज्म नहीं आता. तो देयर आर टू वेज पीपल डू in when they move to entrepreneurship. One fine day they decide, I have enough, at least 2 years of my savings which will sustain me for 2 years, I am getting full time into it. एक ये तरीका है. दूसरा तरीका ये है कि आप जॉब के साथ ही थोड़ा थोड़ा कीजिए. वो बहुत टफ होता है. यू शुड हैव रियली हार्ड हार्ड प्लान्स, इसलिए प्लानिंग करना जरूरी है. तो यू कैन इवन स्टार्ट स्लोली एंड देन द मोमेंट यू सी अ टाइम हैज कम टू फ्लिप द बटन, डू इट. सो it all depends from person to person. Some people are successful just by doing it slowly with their jobs. Some are successful just turning off and going full time into job. Mera personal view, if you ask me, doing two things together never works. If you are convinced about the problem you are trying to solve, go full out. There is no middle ground. But ठीक है, सबका फाइनेंशियल सिचुएशंस अलग होता है, सबका स्टैंडिंग अलग होता है. दैट्स व्हाई आई एम सेइंग दिस इज आल्सो एन ऑप्शन. ठीक है, आई होप दैट आंसर योर क्वेश्चन.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. This session was very insightful. I want to ask about accountability.
Yes.
That sometimes in our devotional life there are a lot of things that happen. Janmashtami, Yatra, Seva. Sometimes your cook is not there. You have to prepare cook for the base.
Yes.
A lot of things. So sometimes what happens is we stop our activities.
Yes.
Whatever we plan, and sometimes what happens, we fail to continue it. It becomes
Yes.
a break. And the one thing that happens to us is self-sabotage.
Yes.
We self-sabotage ourselves. We think that we are not good. Prabhuji, please give us the solution.
Thank you for asking that question. Yes, Prabhu, you want to add something?
Just to addition this, Prabhuji, like he had elaborated well. I have the similar question, like accountability along with the learning. You said you have to learn. So learning, suppose we have to give at least 1 hour, but doing sadhana, chanting, then reading, hearing, and minimum we need 9 to 10 hours of office.
Yes.
Then how to do this?
Yes.
Please put a light on this.
Yes. Thank you. So first of all, I'll address this question of accountability, and it happens with all of us, right? We think of doing lot of things, but we are ending up only doing 10 or 20% of the things, right? होता है, सबके साथ होता है. We are not able to completely do whatever we decided to do, and we derail once we start. So one of the most important things, Prabhuji, I have learned in my life is setting up system and processes. Right, which means and connecting it to something. So example I'll give you is system and processes. मेरे लिए क्या होता था कि मैं ना, it was happening few years back. I had a big team, and today also I have a big team, 500 people team. And sometimes जैसे ही I used to go for yoga, and I used to come back home. Few days I go to office, couple of days I go to office, and जैसे ही योगा से आता था, I didn't knew, unknowingly I started to open my laptop. उससे क्या होता था, मैं 8:30 बजे शुरू करता था कभी कभी, और 9:30 बजे बंद करता था रात में. So what I realized is what was lacking in my own thing was that I didn't have any system and process in place. What I started to do is I started creating boundary for myself. पहली चीज मैंने ये की, the moment I come from my yoga class, I would open Bhagavad Gita. So I related my coming from yoga class to Bhagavad Gita. I know one devotee who has to travel to office every day. He has connected his key turning to starting Mangala Arati. No, not everyone can do Mangla Aarti every time at 4:30 a.m., right? So there are limitations. They work hard. Night में late हो जाता है. So the moment he sits in his car, he starts to do Mangla Aarti. Because he's not able to do at home, at least he's able to do the full morning program in his car. So setting up system is very important. Before even setting up system is the thing which I covered with you. Writing down your plan. क्योंकि क्या होता है ना, जब प्लान दिमाग में होता है, जब आप 2 महीने बाद आते हो तो आप सब भूल चुके होते हो. होता है, आपने 10 चीजें सोचा था करने के लिए, बिकॉज यू हैव नॉट रिटन इट, इट ऑल इवापोरेट्स. आप फिर शुरू से शुरू करते हो, फिर प्लान बनाते हो, फिर वही होता है कि कुछ और चीज आ जाती है और वो छूट जाता है. तो इफ ब्रेक्स आएंगे प्रभु जी, कृष्णा इज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू टेस्ट अस ऑन आर नो स्ट्रेंथ टू फॉलो समथिंग, नो कंसिस्टेंसी. तो सबसे पहली चीज, मैं इफ आई वर यू, आई वुड स्टार्ट विथ राइटिंग अ प्लान. ठीक है, जहां पे भी वो प्लान छूटा है. सेकेंड चीज इज व्हेन आई एम एग्जीक्यूटिंग द प्लान, जैसे एग्जाम्पल एआई सीखना है, प्लीज डोंट जस्ट वॉच द वीडियोज, sit with a copy. Many of you are already doing it, notes बना रहे हो आप. Same thing you do with this also. Third thing is accountability खुद के लिए भी रहेगी, और किसी को पकड़ो आप जिसके लिए आप accountable हो सकते हो. And then tell them, go and tell them, if you have a friend, it can be your friend, it doesn't have to be your senior. उसको जाके आप publicly बोलो कि I was not able to do this. You will see a huge difference. Sounds very simple, but it will bring a lot of difference in your life. ठीक है, प्रभु जी ने बोला, आपने क्या बोला था प्रभु जी? हाँ, टाइम निकालना. देखिए प्रभु जी, टाइम हम सबके पास होता है. इफ यू विल ऑब्जर्व क्लोजली, विच आई वाज टेलिंग यू, रेट्रोस्पेक्ट करो, हाउ आर यू स्पेंडिंग योर डे. देयर इज ऑलवेज अ पॉकेट ऑफ टाइम, वो जो आपके पास अवेलेबल होता है, लेकिन आप उसको यूज नहीं कर पाते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि आपके पास प्लान नहीं होता. देन जब आपके, सपोज आप यहां सपोज ट्रैवल कर रहे हो आप, ठीक है, इफ आई हैव सर्टन थिंग्स आई हैव टू रीड और सम लेक्चर आई हैव टू हियर, आई हैव ऑलरेडी सेट, इट इज देयर इन माई फोन. आई डोंट हैव टू थिंक अबाउट कि मुझे अब नेक्स्ट क्या करना है. 15-20 मिनट मुझे मिला है, या 1 घंटा या 2 घंटा मिला है, हम सबको मिलता है, मिलता है. प्रॉब्लम इज प्रभु कि हम उस समय पे प्लानिंग करके नहीं रखते हैं, तो हम सोचने लगते हैं कि अब मैं क्या करूं. अगर आपका प्लान रहेगा तो आप ऑटोमेटिकली एग्जीक्यूट करोगे. रही बात, कभी कभी यू हैव टू बैलेंस, यू नो. भूरिजन प्रभु वुड ऑलवेज से, यू नो, भक्ति इज लाइक cycling, right? There is this one side is the material part of it, and there is another part is the spiritual part. क्या होता है, कभी हम कुछ चीज एक बहुत ज्यादा करते हैं, जब हम यात्रा में जा रहे हैं, there is, I forget everything, I do data detox, I stop my data, I don't read emails, which is a big thing in my life, because you know, because of the responsibility I have. तो वो, but there would be time where you have to also spend time on your career. That is a time you should block and not let anyone take that time from you. So my take for you, my answer to you is, please plan. आप एक बार प्लान करोगे, ऑटोमेटिकली प्लानिंग नहीं होती तो हम वो टाइम वेस्ट कर देते हैं. देयर इज नो अदर वे. प्लान करो, आप लिखो, ऑटोमेटिकली आपको समझ में आएगा. टू डूज ही लिखना शुरू करोगे तो आपकी लाइफ चेंज हो जाएगी. हाँ, यस प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanam Pranam.
धनुष प्रणाम.
Thank you, Prabhu. Your lecture actually, it just was like pathfinder for all of us. Prabhuji, my question is like as you have mentioned, कि everybody has a like plan apart from this job also. Like somebody wants to become entrepreneurs and everything. But like, what about those who doesn't want to be like, who doesn't have to be start something, do the startup entrepreneurship, but like, can we depend on this IT job, like whatever the skills you have told, or like we have to look something plan B also apart from doing all such thing actually. So like, what's your take on, like, could you please like glance on this?
Yes. So not everyone is should be thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. It's just a special thing which, and then there is a special thing in doing jobs also. So if you are going to follow job, which I am doing myself, right? I would suggest the most key skills is using AI, right? और डोमेन जो हमने अभी रिपीट किया, आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू रिपीट दैट, कि आपको अगर जॉब में अच्छा करना है तो फाइंड आउट द हाउ एंड वाई पार्ट. हाउ तो हम करते ही हैं, राइट? फाइंड आउट द वाई एंड व्हाट, यू नो, क्यों मैं ये काम कर रहा हूं. यू विल स्टैंड आउट ऑटोमेटिकली इन योर टीम. Second thing is, don't worry, AI is there to help us. It will only replace people who don't agree to use AI. ऐसा नहीं होने वाला कि सारे दुनिया के जॉब चले जाएंगे. अरे, if 90% of job will be gone, who will be using Facebook and LinkedIn of the world? No, these hyperscalers will not have anyone to sell to, right? तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं होने वाला. There is always inefficiency in the system. Because of the inefficiency in the system, ये job कभी कहीं नहीं जाने वाले. But ये जरूर है प्रभु जी, productivity is going to become very 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 important. So प्रभु जी was asking this कि मैं तो बहुत हर काम AI से करा रहा हूँ. That's the expectation प्रभु जी. That's good actually, that you are letting AI do so many things. So point is clear प्रभु जी, अगर जॉब में ही रहना है हमें, तो हमें अब स्किल्ड रहना पड़ेगा. नो, हम ऐप रिफ्रेश रेगुलरली कर रहे हैं, बट हमारे स्किल्स को हम रिफ्रेश नहीं कर रहे हैं. सो द की हियर वुड बी टू कंटिन्यूसली रेट्रोस्पेक्ट. 3 महीने में मेक इट अ पॉइंट, एवरी 10th एकादशी और 9th एकादशी, आई एम गोइंग टू सिट विथ माई प्लान एंड सी वेयर एम आई. अगर मैंने कोई स्किल्स सोचा था, डिड आई डू इट? इवन फॉर पर्सनल रिलेशनशिप्स, if have I done any good thing in the personal relationship? So that's the key, Prabhuji. The key is to be with have a plan. First of all, half of your battle will be won if with the plan. Second is to execute and retrospect.
Just Prabhu wanted to add like something.
Yes, Prabhuji,
Suppose
please.
like if like something has like plan B, like apart from no, it should be like non-IT, like it's something like we have to start some business, some passion we have to follow it. So like can we do like if suppose if we got the why and the how, whatever the like sectors we are following it, then also if we have something passion like I love teaching. So can I like I something I should start about like while doing all such things which I am doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, entrepreneur journey can be started with small action. प्रभु जी, क्या होता है ना, हम सिर्फ ड्रीम करते हैं, हम एक्ट नहीं करते. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू आर ड्रीमिंग बट नॉट एक्टिंग? ऑल ऑफ अस. आप जिस दिन ये माइंडसेट चेंज कर दोगे ना प्रभु जी, कि मैं आई विल एक्ट, इट कैन बी वन सिंपल एक्ट, of creating one document of your vision. That itself will start to roll the ball. Problem ये होती है कि हम बॉल ही रोल नहीं करते. And it is, Prabhu ji, it applies in anything in your life, not just entrepreneurship. Act, small acts. वो बूंद बूंद से घड़ा भरता है, वो वही पॉइंट है.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
I hope those who are very tired, please they can stand up from their place. I am very very conscious about their, आप लोग बहुत सुबह से यहाँ बैठे हो, so I don't want to torture you.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
Prabhuji, please.
Prabhuji, I want to just continue on his point
ठीक है.
because I have question on similar line. So Prabhuji, you mentioned system design. So as a developer, even in last 1 year, we are extensively using AI. Now the implementation part is taken care of AI. Now the observation which we made recently in our team, that now for I only have experience of 4 years in industry. So only arbitrage is the system design now because implementation is done by AI. But Prabhuji, my exposure to system design with only 4 years, and people at product tech lead, product owner level, and architect level, they are having domain and systems experience of decades. So they using AI is much more effective than we using AI for implementation.
Okay.
So can you build upon the system design part more?
I have a good news to tell you. The people who you are calling senior may not also have system design knowledge. And this is I'm saying with my experience, because you need to take special efforts to learn system design. Example मैं आपको बोलता हूँ, day to day में हम YouTube use करते हैं, day and night. Google Maps use करते हैं. How many of you know about the design of Google Maps on YouTube? Very few, right? So this is your edge. क्या हुआ है ना, ओवर द टाइम सर्विस इंडस्ट्री में, एंड दिस प्रॉब्लम इज मोर इन सर्विस इंडस्ट्री, लोगों को एक सेट ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट बनाए गए हैं. आई होप आई कैन कंटिन्यू इफ नो. ओके 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 ओके. हाँ हाँ. So I'll close after this question.
one thing is that no, this is a very helpful session. I think we need more structured discussions on this project.
Yeah, so I'll just answer Prabhuji's question quickly. Prabhuji, when you are talking about system design, this is your edge. जो आप कहीं पे भी कुछ भी यूज करते हैं, क्वेश्चन योर सेल्फ इफ आई एम यूजिंग यूट्यूब, गूगल मैप, जो भी आप अपनी लाइफ में यूज करते हैं, स्टार्ट क्वेश्चनिंग ये चलता कैसे. डजंट हैव, यू डोंट हैव टू बी एन आईटी इंजीनियर. जस्ट आस्क योर सेल्फ हाउ डज दिस वर्क, and this is your edge, Prabhuji, in future.
Prabhuji, for example, till now we used to do system design and DSA only to crack interviews. And from past few months, my architect, we are doing this on weekly basis. But Prabhuji, I observed that this is endless. There are, each company comes with new solution and there is lot to learn from that.
So you don't have to worry about this. There are, I will share through Prabhuji, I'll share the names of the YouTube channel. You just have to talk about simple things which you use in your life.
Okay.
YouTube, Google Map, Book My Show. No, some shows booking के लिए रहता है वो. Then so take one example of every area and do system design. This will become, trust me, this will become one of the edge you will have.
Okay.
You don't have to go and boil the ocean.
Okay.
Just go and see, and you will start to see a pattern how the systems are designed in the system, right? और ये बहुत useful होगा क्योंकि agent आज भी doesn't have a knowledge. It's still a dumb
Yes.
thing. You have to help agents.
Absolutely.
Harishna Bhaji.
I think
Harishna? Yeah.
last
So Prabhuji,
question.
like I wanted to like talk about entrepreneurship. So you told about entrepreneurship, but in that field also we are seeing that newer and newer
Call
startups are
Mataji is
coming.
inside, huh?
Sorry.
So newer and newer startups are coming up. They are
Yes.
finding with some solution, and after working so hard for few months, they get to know that there is another startup who has excelled in that particular area, and it's that particular startup. So for like from DOT perspective, like from our point of view, like is that worth putting so much energy and effort? Because like I'm interested in entrepreneurship, but I'm also fearful about that factor. Like I'm developing something and someone comes and takes away that.
So Prabhuji, when you start, first of all, your reason to start a startup should not to just earn Lakshmi.
Absolutely.
That's the last thing you should think about when you are starting a startup. The first and foremost thing is what problem you are trying to solve, right?
Absolutely.
Second thing is be specific on what problem you are solving. You don't have to boil the ocean. No, there is a book of 0 to 1. If you want to become an entrepreneur, read that book where Peter Thiel is talking about building a solution for one specific problem. And most of the companies, example Amazon. Do you know what was Amazon when it started?
No, there's an Amazon guy sitting out there. He is an Amazon.
What was Amazon, Prabhuji? Yes, it was not even a bookstore. No, it was a book broker. In fact, Barnes and Nobles, before they were going and taking the IPO, Barnes and Noble actually put a case कि ये लोग अपने आप को bookstore call करते हैं, and they don't even have books. They're getting two agents. So the key point is, Prabhuji, what problem you are trying to solve. Solve a problem which is a real problem. Problem क्या होती है? Maximum startups जो होते हैं ना, they're beating the book.
Absolutely.
Yes. So वो वही problem solve कर रहे हैं जो 40 लोग और solve कर चुके हैं. Right? So the key thing here is customer centricity. क्या customer को चाहिए, वो अगर आप solve करोगे, you will be super successful. हरी बोल दूध है अपना, हरी बोल milk, हम सब we are using it. What problem they solved? We always wanted to buy milk from a devotee. सब जगह devotee नहीं होते हैं, and they solve that problem. Right? So हमें भी वही सोचना पड़ेगा कि how we can solve the problems. Right? Then you will be successful. Don't think about taking Lakshmi. Only 0.6% of the startups which are successful.
I think that is where the business domain, understanding of domain becomes very important.
Getting deeper is shallow है. Problem क्या हो रहा है प्रभु जी? We live in a very distracted environment today. है ना? हर movement में हमारे ideas change होते हैं क्योंकि कुछ नया pop up हो जाता है and it just completely changes our ideas. We have to first become very focused on what we want to solve.
Problem we are trying. Because even in AI Summit, what I observed is 90% of startups, they were in the area of chat and voice, images. That's it.
See, if you
everybody
see
is building a wrapper around.
Example
it.
आपको मैं बोलता हूँ PayPal का. जब PayPal आया था, there was no way people can do business with each other. There was only B2C. There was no way people could do business with each other, and that's what PayPal solved. So the point is, entrepreneurship mein, the key is what is that problem you're trying to solve, and the best people who become successful is they want to solve that problem. They're not thinking about how much I'll make. They're thinking about this is a problem and I have a solution to it. और हो सकता है उसके लिए आपको 2 साल लगे, 3 साल लगे, 4 साल लगे, 5 साल लगे. Only then you should go into entrepreneurship. But yes, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि you should feel dejected. You can start small. Somewhere start करो, अपना idea लिखो कहीं पे, business plan लिखो, and then start to see, make some actions and start to execute.
Right. I think one last question we'll take, Roji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for your wonderful words. Actually, I would like to hear something about investment from you.
Sorry, Pradeep?
Investment. Actually, I also wanted you to speak a bit. I know there was a finance session, but finance session couldn't touch on investment. So basically, and he's an amazing person who has managed his investments. Very man. If so, basically, you will be upgraded to somebody who knows how finance works. Okay. So if you can share, Roji, few nuggets on.
So anything specific you want to know? Because it's a very vast topic. I can go on for an hour.
Specifically, I'm asking you. Prabhuji told us that you are investing in companies where companies are budding.
So I was talking about this short-term working capital gain. The things.
Okay.
Basically, the variety of instruments.
See, there are
Everybody is just thinking mutual funds. That's it. That even auto wala is thinking right now. So basically, what's the differentiator?
yes.
What is going on in financial market now?
Right. So in financial market, Prabhuji, there are multiple instruments which are coming into market now. One of the instruments which is AIF, I don't know if you've heard about, उसमें ticket size थोड़ा बड़ा होता है. No, where you invest into specific companies which are not even listed. Okay. Second is there are companies as a startup. There are a group of people who are coming together and investing in startups. Right. So उसमें क्या होता है? That's a very risky proposition, I would say. At certain that should be only 10% of your total net worth. Okay, 10 to 15%, because उसमें failure के chance बहुत ज़्यादा रहते हैं. Right. So there are a lot of companies who allow you to actually pool people and allow you to invest in a company. So if you like an idea, they present you the idea and then you go and invest in them. But at your age, I would suggest first build your corpus. That's my suggestion to you. Building your corpus, building your financial corpus is more important. Then you can think of alternatives. So corpus building mein there are various ways and means. Some devotees have moved out of mutual funds and moved more towards investing in index.
Index funds, absolutely.
So index investing has become very, very common. And so these are the things. Any specific you have there, which I can answer those specifics.
First of all, are you investing at all?
I am investing, and also my father's having big corpus. I need to manage that also.
Okay.
That's why
then that's a different story.
That's why I asked this.
Yes. So Prabhuji, there are ways you can invest in startups. There are ways you can invest in real estate. But you don't have to invest like an real estate buyer. I know a lot of people who just invest in real estate for 1 to 2 years and they come out of the project. So there are various means. Maybe we can talk offline about them.
Okay, great. So I think we can take 1, 2 more questions, because your good wife is still being flocked upon, which you will also be flocked upon by the time you go. But yeah, we can just take 1 or 2 more questions. Yeah. By the way, why will you pick up SIP in crypto? Is that also something which you are suggesting?
No, I don't do anything in crypto because I don't do anything which I don't understand. That's not my domain. Crypto I don't understand because I can't see a balance sheet of crypto. It's just hype, and it may have a value. Maybe I'll realize it after 10 years, but I'm happy because there is enough to invest. One thing, Prabhuji, is I would really want to do is Please, again, same thing I was talking about, AI learning is also in financial investing, right?
Exactly.
You should know what you're doing. The why and what part is very important. Every devotee should know how to read a balance sheet. No, most of our leaders in ISKCON also say that you should know accounting, because कब हमारे project को accounting की जरूरत पड़ जाए हमें नहीं पता, right? So all of you should know the why part of everything you do. सिर्फ आंख बंद के, please don't lose your intelligence when you are using your own money. It's not your money, it's Krishna's money. I was meeting someone here, devotee gave another devotee 55 lakh rupees, and that devotee has gone out.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
this
please use your intelligence. You have abundance of intelligence. Why? Because you have decided to become a devotee. That's a sign of intelligence itself, right? But when you're using, so any financial dealing, before I start anything, any financial dealing, please treat it as professional as possible. There's no free lunch. No? So please protect yourself. Don't do anything which is not as per the law. Again, very, very important, because I remember Anand Vrindavan Prabhu, when to His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Swami Maharaj, when it was Harshad Mehta's time, he got a direct offer to invest with Harshad Mehta. But he went to Prabhuji and said, Prabhuji, what should I do? And Maharaj that time was a brahmachari. He said, no, you are not doing anything.
Yeah.
And he accepted that decision, and he said, that saved me from going to jail. So, apna intelligence please mat chhodiye when you are doing investments. सेकेंड थिंग इज लर्न. आप म्यूचुअल फंड में भी कर रहे हैं, अगर आपने मल्टी कैप में किया है, सपोज आपने कोटक मल्टी कैप लिया है और एंड यू हैव टेकन से पराग पारिक मल्टी कैप, try to see, there are so many website now which tells you what overlap of portfolio is there. आप वही चीज दो इसमें डालोगे और बोलोगे मैंने डाइवर्सिफाई कर दिया in a mutual fund, that's not a diversification.
Yeah. There's sometimes people invest in 20 mutual funds, investment of 25,000.
But they are investing the same scripts. So अगर आप scripts ले रहे हो तो you should know which scripts they are investing in, and there you don't have to spend tons of time. There are websites where you put 2 mutual funds and it will tell you the overlap between the investments. तो ये basic चीजें हैं हमें करनी चाहिए. As a devotee also, just invest and forget का time चले गया है.
बिल्कुल.
You have to continuously keep checking.
Absolutely.
And again, you keep a process. You keep a process. Every birthday I am going to go and check my portfolio. You don't have to do it every quarter. If you can do it every quarter, very good. But if you can do it every birthday, that's also itself is good.
Great. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhuji, last question. As you are telling about the corpus, building and corpus, like just an example, who did not have, many of us would not have a large corpus. And to build a corpus, it takes a time at least, and to reach 1 CR, and then compounding then happens after that. But minimum, the first 10 years, you require to earn 1 CR. But
Yes.
now till you becomes 30, and before that 2026 you need to marriage, and the marriage first thing they ask house. So when you take a loan, then the corpus itself gets damaged, and it takes then the corpus which would have been generated by the 30, it will be generated after paying the home loan.
Yes.
So then how should deal this?
I have a senior who runs a group called Capital Mind, Deepak Shinoy. He is from NIT Suratkal, one of my seniors. So he always says, house is a luxury only few can afford. And he himself stays in a rented apartment. So I'm 100% with you, Prabhuji. So see, I think the biggest thing is you should not stop your investment because of that reason. होता क्या है ना, बहुत सी बार अरे करके कुछ होना नहीं है. Even in my maid in my house, I have started her investment 500 rupees say. सबसे important part है start somewhere, right? Second है home. I agree, home is one of the, जितना rent पे रह सकते हो आप रहो. That's my suggestion to you. जितना rent पे रह सकते आप रहो. Only a point where your liability will be very less, then go for a home.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise आप वो EMI और interest चुकाते चुकाते ही आपका corpus ही नहीं बनेगा. But I know, there are limitations sometimes, so you have to live with,
Yeah.
manage with it.
Okay. So I think we'll stop here. There are devotees who are like when
Yes,
they're leaving
yes.
also, we have to close the camp. Thank you so much, Satya Gopal Broji,
No,
for coming all the way. And I think you touched upon very important aspects of training. I am sure that devotees got very good insights into the learning streams, you know. So thank you so much. We'll have an extended session, online session, okay, wherein we can do further Q&A only on that, you know. The only thing with NS campus, we can only just give few nuggets of everything so that, you
yes.
know, and then whatever it is. So,
No,
but
thank you, Prabhu. It is because of him I'm sitting here. I still don't feel like I'm qualified to sit on this chair, but it is to please him I'm sitting here. And thank you so much for such a wonderful audience, because all of you, I was always thinking you've been here from 9:30, but they were so active and they asked so many questions. I'm very, very grateful to all of you for hearing this and just asking good questions. Thank you so much. I also learned a lot
thank
when
you.
you
Hari
answered.
Bol. Is there Satya Gopal Prabhu ki?
Srila
And let
Prabhupada
us
ki jai.
stand three times Hari Bol for Prabhuji. Okay. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Thank you.